I'm filming this at night. I'm a night shift worker. That's just how it is. The lighting is absolutely terrible. There's a window in this direction. I've said this before if you've watched any of my other videos, which is unlikely, but I usually open that for the light in this room. This room has terrible lighting, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So this is going to be a review of the Imperial Fruit Sampler knife. I already said the word I'm going to try not to do that, and I'm going to try not to make that stupid smacking sound. My videos are better just like put it on ×2, absorb the information. I talk slow because I'm trying to think about what I say so that I don't say and smack my lips like a retard. So keep that in mind. This is not going to be as well thought out as some of my other reviews. I did quickly put together some notes, but I've had this knife for 3 years, so I'm not just like making this video jumping to conclusion. I have used it a fair amount. I tried to give it a fair shake, and so it's just not as structured as my early reviews are, because I'm kind of going through a back catalog of knives that I kind of want to like give away or get rid of or sell or whatever. So I'm trying to just get the reviews done, because at the end of the day, there's most of them, like 80% of them are just, I do not recommend them. And so I'm trying to get through them fairly fast because there's no reason to drag it out when it's like a $10 7CR knife. Okay, so speaking of which, I bought this knife in September of 2022, which is 3 years ago at the time of recording this. And I paid $10 for it. And wouldn't you know it, for $10, it has 7CR17 steel, which, as a blade steel, in my opinion, for my preferences, is unacceptable. It's got extremely low edge retention, really high stainlessness, but the edge retention is terrible, which can be a benefit for ease of sharpening. It is very, very easy to just hone these knives up with a ceramic rod or one of those small tapered diamond files, a diamond rod, or even just a plain whetstone. The only problem is you get that burr passing, so it kind of helps to have something you can strop it on, because that burr will literally just roll from one side to the other super easily, and it'll do it with like one pass on a ceramic rod sometimes. Now, ceramic rods are fairly good at getting the burr off, but it's not often you have one with you. So as far as like a whetstone or steeling a knife, it's very, very easy to roll the edge over. But it's so soft that, like, my buddy, if he's using one at work, I'll use the back of my knife, which I usually carry a knife that has like a real blade steel, and I'll just steel the edge of his soft knife on the back of my knife because it's a harder steel, and so it can like fix rolled edges very quickly. The model number on this is ss102. At the time of recording this in 2025, this knife is discontinued by Schrade or Imperial. And on Blade HQ, they have it archived, so you can't even search it unless you search it through Google instead of directly through the search bar on Blade HQ. The blade is marked razor blade stainless. I can kind of see that that's not in focus, but razor blade stainless, which isn't a good thing if you know anything about anything. You know, razor blades are made to be used one time, never sharpened again, and then thrown away. So that isn't indicative of quality. It's got the Imperial stamp, which is pretty cool. I'm a fan of the old Imperial knives. Believe it or not, I always say in my reviews, you know, that I have to, like, a big part of the reason I don't recommend some knives is because they don't have a lock and they don't have a pocket clip, which this one does not, which makes it inadequate for a good EDC. But I am a fan of old knives. It's just, I don't like a knife rattling around in the bottom of my pocket, and I have a job that I use my knife a lot. And not being able to easily open and close it one-handed without feeling like you're going to cut the hell out of yourself is like kind of a deal breaker. Now, it's easy to close this one one-handed, but it's not super easy to open it one-handed. It's not practical to open it one-handed because I have to open my knife, close it, open it, close it, open it, close it, and put it in and out of the pocket a bunch of times throughout the night. And it's just not practical to carry a slip joint or something that doesn't have a clip, or at least, at the very least, isn't easy to open and close one-handed. So for me, this is not an EDC knife. It is a kind of American peasant knife. I would say the American peasant knife is probably the Case Sodbuster. but this is kind of an American peasant knife. It's not even designed for EDC, obviously, although you could use it for that if you're in a pinch. It is designed for sampling watermelons and just general like light use, peeling of fruits and probably vegetables. You could do that with it for sure. But it's long and skinny to take a core sample out of a melon. That's why they call it. Some companies sold it as a melon sampler. Imperial, they sell it as a fruit knife or fruit sampler, or a sampler fruit knife is what it's labeled as on Blade HQ. So, and it is very good for that. This knife has actually lived in my kitchen mostly, and it'll probably go in my lunch box for work because it's a good knife for like cutting a baked potato, peeling an apple, or not peeling an apple, but slicing an apple, peeling anything that needs to be peeled. It's a good knife for that. But even so, even though it is ideal for or it's okay for menial tasks, the edge profile, it's a very, it's not a broad blade this direction, tall, so it doesn't look it on a video, but it's kind of thick behind the edge for slicing, but not terrible by any means. And I'll probably keep this one, like I said, and just throw it in my lunchbox. But I definitely, at the end of the day, review-wise, I would say I don't recommend it. Which is evident by the fact that they've discontinued it. I don't think very many people would recommend it. It's 7CR. That's like a toy blade steel almost. You can definitely use it. It's not terrible, but it's terrible, if you know what I mean. So, and that's, kind of a snobby perspective, I guess, but there are very, very, very many more good options on the market in 2025 than a 100-year-old fruit sampling design. So it's good for a peasant knife collection or just a general slip joint collection, collecting it, whatever. Using it lightly, whatever. But is it a good EDC knife and would I recommend it? No, definitely not. So thanks for watching.